Welcome to Comic Fights, and before we get to the epic fight for this week, let's look back at last week. Last week we had Superman versus the Sentry, and it all comes down to this thought, which I already condensed, already cut some stuff out from Sam Murphy. Anyway, before the fight even happens, Sentry will likely make a judgment call on whether or not killing Superman would be a good thing or not. This is essential, as he may either allow himself to go all out or simply forfeit the fight. Were it a good thing to do, for example, if Superman had been possessed by someone or was causing havoc, possibly even putting the world at risk, Sentry may not risk saving it from him, as he is aware of the karma-like repercussions that his alter ego may take. However, if they happen upon each other where Superman is still the hero we know him to be, Sentry would likely have no qualms laying into the Son of Krypton, knowing that the Void persona would probably have no interest in balancing scales that already lie in his favor. So when it comes to the morality of what would happen, that actually makes sense that the Void may not balance anything if he's already doing something that's kind of evil, which would be defeating the greatest hero that DC Comics has ever known. So interesting point. But if they happen to fight, what would happen? In battle, both Superman and Sentry are near indestructible, but Superman is the only one with such an exploitable weakness such as kryptonite. Seeing as Sentry can only be defeated with his permission, let alone that he can reconstitute from atomic levels of destruction, it is more than likely that he would outlast Superman. Furthermore, Superman cannot be brought back to life except by external means, such as lantern rings. Powers-wise, nothing Superman has in his varied arsenal would severely injure Sentry. However, the ability to transmute molecular matter may even allow for the use of kryptonite against Superman, rendering him weak and most definitely mortal. So basically, Sentry would win. So it comes down to Sentry having that ability to manipulate atoms and molecules and create things. And a lot of people had the same thought that he could just create kryptonite. And that's a good point. It also comes down to the Sentry being more indestructible than we've seen Superman to be. And even if he is destroyed, the ability to come back. So in this case, we're giving the big W to Sentry. So now this week's fight, and this is an epic fight, which if you haven't seen an epic comic fight before means that we take two heroes or villains that we know about, we give them some sort of extra ability, weapon, something that changes things up. So this week we have two Marvel characters with two DC weapons. So we're going with Hulk and Captain America. Now without anything, Hulk would destroy, right? Hulk can break the world. Steve Rogers has no chance. But armed with two various lantern rings, things may get a little more complicated. Let's start by talking about the Hulk. So we got Bruce Banner. His power is rage, right? He gets angry, he destroys things, Hulk smash. And the angrier he gets, the more powerful he is and the more durable he is, that he could destroy the planet and still be alive. So incredibly powerful. And then we're going to equip him with the Red Lantern Ring of Rage. So now all of that anger he can funnel through that ring. Most Red Lanterns don't really create constructs the same way that other like Green Lanterns do, because they may lack the training and discipline, because they're not focused. It's rage. So instead, it embodies in a couple different ways. So it tends to appear almost like a flame, that it's just kind of this power that ekes out of them and makes everything they do incredibly powerful. It also shows itself in this way that their blood boils and it kind of pours out of them. So it kind of looks like they're just like spewing up this blood that's like this acidic, gross substance that burns through anything. So imagine you're facing a Hulk who's now kind of this red, he looks like the Red Hulk, but we're still going with Bruce Banner. He's this red, just spewing acidic blood kind of stuff, just fire, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. In terms of weakness, the Red Lanterns, they have to be angry to kind of have all that power. So their weakness is actually feeling other emotions, that if they calm down, they might lose that power. And it's believed that if they fall in love, love can be fatal to a Red Lantern. So we're hoping that his rage in this scenario outweighs his feelings, kind of the Bruce Banner side. We're hoping that that stays at bay for the sake of the Hulk. So that's kind of his weakness. Also, he is weak to the powers of the Blue Lantern, which we will talk about in a second, that it could potentially nullify, calm down that person and extinguish those flames of rage. So now let's talk about who is going to be trying to protect the world from destruction against the Red Lantern Hulk, the Blue Lantern Captain America. So we've got Steve Rogers, who on his own is just kind of a maxed out man, right? He's like a little stronger, he's like a little faster. He's superhuman, so he's a lot faster and a lot stronger. But he doesn't have any other sort of abilities. He doesn't shoot lasers or anything. So he's just kind of a guy, and he's equipped with the vibranium shield that could protect him from the Red Hulk, the Red Lantern Hulk, long enough to at least keep him alive. Now, in this scenario, we're giving Steve Rogers two things. We're giving him the Blue Lantern ring, which funnels hope. And that is something that he has plenty of, that he can channel that hope into powerful blue constructs that will likely be as powerful as the rage embodied by the Hulk. So he can fly, he can create these constructs, and he can also calm people down, which might be the key to stopping the unstoppable. Now, the tricky thing here is I wanted just to do blue ring versus red ring, but there's some rules that to really get the full potential of the blue ring, you need a green ring, or someone with a green ring needs to be present or around you. And instead of going 2-on-1, I think we're just going to equip Captain America with a green and a blue, which has been done by Green Lanterns before. So he's donning a green ring and a blue ring, willpower and hope against the Red Lantern Hulk. Red Lantern Hulk is basically all offensive. He is not going to stop. There's fire, there's acid, there's blood, there's rage, destroying everything. The Blue Lantern Captain America is basically all defensive. So putting up barricades, trying to calm him down. He's not about dealing damage. And even with the Green Lantern ring, it's about the willpower to stop him. The Blue Lantern ring also gives some healing abilities, so the ability to regenerate major wounds. So what do you think will happen? Do you think the rage of the Hulk outweighs the hope of Captain America? Can he survive and last long enough to find that glimmer of hope in Bruce Banner? So I want to hear your thoughts. I want examples, so things that you've seen the Lantern Rings do, things that Bruce Banner and Steve Rogers have done that lead you to think how they'd act a different way, how these rings will embody themselves. Let me know in the comments. Get creative, and next week we'll shout out some of the best answers. That was this week's Comic Fight. We'll see you next week.